Hi, and welcome to another dose of virtual vitamin Z. This is DZS News for the week of May 23rd, 2022. I'm your co-host, Stephen.
And I'm your co-host, Claire. Let's get started with some Detroit Zoological Society updates. Today is Victoria Day. Our neighbors over in Canada are celebrating today, and we would like to invite you all over to celebrate with us here at the Detroit Zoo. We are accepting all Canadian currency at face value, so you get a little bit of a discount, and that's good for admissions, parking, concessions, anything that you're buying throughout the zoo today. And it's been a few years since we've been able to invite our Canadian neighbors over, so it's very exciting. And we have some really great Canadian themed programs and animal enrichments planned out there by the animal care staff. So really, it's worth the trip over the bridge to come visit.
Next up, we have another celebration today, and today is also World Turtle Day. And so let's slow down a little bit and think about some of the ways that we can help out turtles. One of the ways is when you're driving, oftentimes we might encounter a turtle crossing the road. And I just want to share a quick tip here. I know we'll have another humane tip later in the week, but a quick tip is that if you see a turtle crossing the road, be sure to slow down, stop, and if you want to help them, make sure that you're safe and help them move in the direction of travel. Because if you move, even if they're closer to one side of the road, if that's not the direction they're traveling, if you move them to that side of the road, they might just go across the road trying to get where they're going. So slow down, make sure everything's safe, and then help them across the road in the direction of their travel. We will have other turtle-themed posts throughout the week, so if you love turtles as much as I do, don't worry, we're not going to limit it just to this one day. We'll have a wildlife adventure story about turtles. We'll also have another humane tip that relates to helping turtles later on in the week.
It's not just World Turtle Day this week, but it's also World Otter Day. So we get a chance to celebrate otters. Sea otters, river otters, they both live here at the Detroit Zoo and have some fantastic stories. Many of them came to us rescued from some unfortunate situations. We've been able to provide them sanctuary. So we'll be sharing a whole bunch of otter-themed information out with you to celebrate our otters.
Yeah, it's utterly incredible the way that we've been able to help out both of these species. I just think it's really great. And then finally, we want to remind you all that starting on May 28th, we have a lot of new experiences opening up. Train is scheduled to open, as is the 4D Theater. We have the Sayaka Gans art exhibition in the Changing Exhibit Gallery in the Ford Education Center. So lots of reasons to come out and visit the zoo. So make sure that you check all of those out.
Yeah, and Senior Day on Wednesday, June 1st, that next coming week. Just a reminder too, if you're making any plans for that seniors get in free that day, and we have a bunch of different activities set up for our seniors as well. All right, Stephen, we're on to the feature story. I don't know how this could have been, but it has been 2 years since DZS News has started, and every week for 2 years, we've been providing updates about things that are happening at the zoo. And we started during like the very height of the pandemic when things were kind of locked down and people didn't have a lot of access out to different parts of the community. And we were just so privileged to be able to bring the zoo to you during that time period. And 2 years later, we're still here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I know we joked after our first episode that we probably wouldn't have a second episode. So not just thinking about a second episode, but a second year of episodes is really exciting. And I've just been reflecting on, this milestone and thinking about some of my favorite experiences doing this. And to be honest, I just love being able to sit down every week and connect with you all and share some of the things that are happening here. To share our passion for the zoo, for the animals who live here, as well as for the work that the Detroit Zoological Society does throughout the world, not just here at the zoo, but in the community, in other countries and things like that. And I guess thinking about my favorite experiences, they've always been the opportunity to convey important information in a fun way. Things like the animal live cam plays of the week, things like our challenges where we try to recreate some of the ways that we make sure that animals stay nice and cool during the summer months by actually doing those ourselves. We've got some photos of that. So yeah, just being able to share important stuff in a fun way has been really uplifting and really one of the high points, not just work-wise, but in general of the past couple of years for me.
Yeah, and I would have to say one of the highlights is, so sometimes we get so busy and we're just moving from one thing to the next that every week taking a moment to stop and think about all the exciting things that are happening that week. And I don't ever think that there's been a week, Stephen, where we didn't have several things to share that didn't come easily to the table of things we wanted to share out with the entire community. And just being really conscientious of thinking about all those things to celebrate on a regular basis has been just a tremendous amount of fun and a lot of laughs along the way. many of which you don't all get to see because we have to cut those out. But let's go to our lineup of the rest of what's coming this week. As always, we're starting you off today with DZS News, episode 3.21, year 2.
Next up, we've got Animal Welfare Tales, and this one's going to focus on the grizzly bear brothers Mike, Boo, and Thor and their rescue story, which is really incredible.
Wednesday is Otter Day, so we'll be talking about saving wildlife and the Southern Sea Otter story.
Next up is on Thursday, a wildlife adventure story, and to honor World Turtle Day, we are going to be having a story about turtles.
And Friday, our humane tip, Stephen, you're going to be talking about microplastics.
Yeah, and so microplastics are something that can impact turtles and otters as well as other aquatic wildlife. The good news, though, is that there are some things we can do to help prevent them. So we're going to find out what those are on Friday.
All right, until next week, stay healthy, Detroit.